Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best internal SSDs.
Starting at number 5.
XPG SX8200 Pro. If you're going for a computer with PCIe 3, then you don't need to spend a ton of money on an SSD that supports PCIe 4. Instead, you can go for something like the XPG SX8200 Pro, which is much cheaper per GB while still providing relatively strong performance. In terms of pure numbers, sequential read performance can get up to 3000 megabytes per second, which should be more than enough for most people. On the other hand, sequential write speeds leave a little bit to be desired, only coming in at 1750 megabytes per second. What's the difference between sequential and random read/write performance? Granted, for the majority of users, that's going to be the sequential read performance. On the bright side, this SSD does have a slightly higher TBW of 640 for the 1TB version, as well as the standard 5-year warranty. In short, the longevity is pretty good. Adata's SSD is also direct storage compatible, meaning it's future-proof in terms of software support. Finally, the 8200 Pro comes with a nice-looking cover if you're working with a case you can see into. Aesthetics are important if you're showing off your build, after all.
Coming at number 4.
Samsung 980 Pro SSD. It's no surprise at this point that both Samsung and Western Digital are dominating this market, so you'll know that when talking about the Samsung 980 Pro SSD, it'll be a pretty powerful direct storage compatible NVMe SSD. PCIe 4.0, what's new and why it matters? Related. PCIe 4.0 compatible motherboard, so without one, you're seeing only about half of those speeds. If your motherboard is compatible, though, this upgrade is worth it. Of course, all of this speed and power come at a high thermal price, so we strongly suggest getting the version that comes with a heatsink. This will help with performance, but it will also help extend the SSD lifetime due to thermal fatigue. The version without the heatsink is $20 less, but the savings isn't worth your electronics heating up and burning out. Finally, you get a 5-year warranty as well as 600 TBW, so it has pretty good coverage in terms of the 980 Pro's lifetime.
At number 3.
WD_Black 1TB SN850. Well known among builders and reviewers alike, the WD_Black drives have excellent gaming performance and the SN850 NVMe version is no different. Able to hit up to 7000 megabytes per second, this SSD doesn't fool around since real-world performance nearly matches the rated performance. It's so powerful that it tends to run hot. So you might want to consider the option with a heatsink if your cooling options are lacking. What is direct storage on Windows 11, Windows 10, and Xbox? Related. The only other matter to keep in mind is the lower TBW of 600, although the 5-year warranty should help assuage any worries you have there. In the end, though, the WD_Black SN850 is geared towards a high-end build, and now that direct storage is on Windows, it's future-proof. This internal SSD is perfect for gaming.
Number 2 of my list.
WD Blue SN550 NVMe. Like Samsung, Western Digital has been in the storage game for ages. As such, the blue line of WD drives such as the SN550 have a solid reputation for good performance at a low price. This budget SSD has some pretty good speeds, being rated to do 2600 megabytes per second read speed. Being an NVMe drive, it's also direct storage compatible. However, real-world performance is slightly slower, and it doesn't do as well with sustained write speeds. Ultimately, the SN550 is a great internal SSD if your budget is tight. Put NVMe power at the heart of your PC for lightning-fast, ultra-responsive performance. The WD Blue SN550 NVMe SSD can deliver over 4 times the speed of our best SATA SSDs. Whether you're working, creating, casual gaming or processing large amounts of data, take advantage of this powerful internal drive's high speeds to do more, faster. Available in capacities up to 1 TB in an affordable M.2 2280 form factor. There's no time like now to make the change to NVMe. 1 GB equals 1 billion bytes and 1 TB equals 1 trillion bytes. Actual user capacity may be less, depending on operating environment.
And number 1.
Samsung 870 EVO. Being one of the big players in the SSD game, it's probably no surprise to see Samsung at the top of the list. While the Samsung 870 EVO is still a SATA SSD, it's able to hit up to a pretty respectable 560 MB read and write speeds, which should be enough for most use cases. It's also rated for 2400 TBW and comes paired with a 5-year warranty, so you should be covered for a long time. What's interesting about the Samsung 870 EVO is that while it doesn't do as well on copy and pasting as other SSDs, it manages to outshine quite a few when it comes to things such as booting Windows and loading games. Clearly, Samsung has put a lot of effort towards the latter set than the former, which is great if you do a lot of gaming. As for sizes, they come in a range of 250 GB, 500 GB, 1 TB, 2 TB, and 4 TB, with the last one being quite impressive for a 2.5-inch form factor.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.